The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Hey, what is up, YouTube fam? It's Dupree, aka Darth Hater, here with another one of my Star Wars stories. This one's about the time I got invited to the Solo Star Wars story premiere. Now, this is kind of a long story. There's a lot of different things. I'll tell you about how I got to go, what happened there, and kind of the aftermath, because they're all some real interesting stories. I'll start at the beginning, obviously. So, we heard the movie was coming out, me and my friends, and that they were casting a young Han Solo, and then also Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, was going to be a young Lando. And then when I found that out, you know, I was like overjoyed, because Lando is one of my favorite characters. Like after Vader, he's one of my top favorite characters. I feel like he's one of the most underrated characters in Star Wars today. I just love him as a character. I love his swagger. I love his like charm. You know, he's very debonair. Like, you know, plus Billy D. Williams like played him like to the T. Billy D. Williams is the man forever. But anyway, my friend Jesse Terrazas was like, dude, you know what? Like, I could totally see you being like a young Lando. You should totally do it, bro. And I'm like, think so? Because I never thought about cosplaying as Lando ever. Like, my bread and butter is Vader, Boba, secondary, and then at the time I had a Stormtrooper, but I sold it to fund more Vader parts. But yes, anyway, so he told me, he's like, dude, you should totally be Lando. Like, I could totally see you doing Lando. So, you know, I thought about it. And then my other friends who actually make costumes were thinking about doing it as well. They wanted to get like a group together, like a solo Star Wars story group, like a Han, Kira, sorry, I almost said Leia, a Chewie, a Beckett, L3, and then me as Lando. If you guys know, like, you know, obviously know, like, I make costumes, I'm in, you know, costuming clubs. The one thing I cannot do with costumes is I cannot sew. I never really learned how to sew. I mean, besides from like fixing a small stitch or something like that, like a tear and something. Other than that, like, you know, my sewing skills are non-existent. I probably should have learned, considering what I do now, but, you know, like I said, I don't know how to sew. But anyway, they offered to help me build, or I should say help me make the Lando costume. My friend Griffin and his girlfriend Alex basically, I went over their house for a few months and measured. We basically screenshotted everything we could from the trailers, any snippet of anything, and Childish Gambino was Lando. All three of us were like sticklers to detail, so we wanted it perfect. It was like the progression of all that, like, you know, what we did. But anyway, flash forward like a month or so later, costume was done. Like, I was basically Lando. Like, it was like destined to be. And then I started doing my hair like that with the part and everything, and, you know, I was missing everything but the blaster. I didn't have the blaster. I have it now. I just haven't put it together yet. But anyway, I had the costume done. I was posting about it, and then randomly, I remember this. This is how it happened exactly. Randomly, I remember getting an email, like a random email from Lucasfilm. I've done a little bit of work with them before, but up until that point, it had been a while. So it's like a random email from Lucasfilm from fan relations. Anyway, the email said, "We love your Lando costume. We would love you to come to the Solo A Star Wars Story premiere." And I'm just like, dude, oh, go to the premiere for Solo A Star Wars Story in a costume that me and my friends made, dressed as Lando. Lando, like, on the red carpet, like, that's freaking amazing. I think as soon as I saw that, yes, I would love to go. I will be in costume. I will be there. Blah, 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 blah. Send me details, please. I will be there with the costume on. And it was just like the gods had like spoken, like the seas had like parted ways, and I magically was able to go. I'm not bragging at all. I will never brag about all this stuff that we do. And I will say that I was blessed to go to the Force Awakens premiere in 2015, which is another story. You know, I was just humbled to be there. Yeah. But anyway, that's how I got there. The day of the premiere. So literally the day of the premiere, I show up at Hollywood Boulevard. I go to Disney Soda Fountain, which is like across the street from Chinese Theater, there's a bunch of stuff there. I get my pass. I run into a bunch of friends and everything. We get situated on the red carpet, like to the side, and I can't explain like how amazing this was. Like they had built the entire Millennium Falcon from Solo Star Wars story, Lando's Millennium Falcon, so clean with the nose thing, like sitting on freaking Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm dressed like freaking Lando in front of this giant ship. Like I could not hold my excitement. It was amazing. We're there, and then the actors and other people and stuff start slowly trickling down, like through the red carpet. One side of the red carpet is the other side. I was on this side. Some actors came over here, some came over here, or a couple kind of just trickled through the middle and didn't go at all. But I remember seeing Amelia Clark like going on the other side, and a lot of my friends take pictures with her, and I'm just like amazed, you know, that she's there. And she's so tiny. She's really tiny. Paul Bettany, you know, Dryden Voss, aka now Vision, there. Donald Glover, you know, Lando walking up doing his thing. He didn't really come to our side, which I was really bummed about, you know, because I was literally dressed like Disney. Jon Favreau, like Kathleen Kennedy came up, Alden Ehrenreich, Han Solo himself, Jonas Satamo, Chewie, like literally the whole cast, like, you know, Woody Harrelson, like everybody came over. Like I had the idea, a lot of my friends were like saying, where are you gonna bring me? I have them sign. And I'm just like, I got an idea. So I'm like dressed as Lando, and Lando's a card player, so why not bring some Sabacc cards? So this is what I did. I brought all these Sabacc cards from the Sabacc gang that was out at the time, and had all the actors and actresses and everybody sign it. Anybody I could. And this is my pass right here. It's so cool. Like every time I get, you know, to go to one of these, you gotta keep the pass. But anyway, I'll hold it like this so you guys can see. So who do we have here? So we have, this is Kathleen Kennedy. Right here, she came up to me, you know, was like, I love your costume. I'm like, thank you so much. I love what you do. Jon Favreau. I can't remember. Their signatures are so weird. Okay, this is Jonas Satamo. This is Chewie. Okay, so I got Alden Ehrenreich, Han Solo, Kathleen Kennedy, Jon Favreau, Jonas Satamo, Chewie, Ray Park, and Woody Harrelson. Yes, Woody Harrelson. Yeah, that's it, I believe. But yeah, this is my, I got this poster, the official poster, like right afterwards and everything. I had to get it framed and then do it up like this. Like, if you guys know me, you know I love like my poster signed. This is the next best thing, just to have like all the Sabacc cards and the actual thing right here. So yeah, that's this. Funny story. So Ray Park actually walked up, and I've met Ray like a bunch of times. Like, you know, I sort of know each other. Like, oh, you're that dude. Hey man, what's up? Long time no see. Like, you know, we're cool like that, I guess. So he walks up and like, hey man, like it's a long time no see. Like, it's good to see you, man. Like, you know, like we need you in one of these movies again. Like, you only did episode, and we need to have, you know, the real Darth Maul in one of these again, dude. Like, tell Lucasfilm they need to put you in one of these again. And he's like, ha ha ha, laughs it off and just walks away. And I'm just like, that was weird. And then, I kid you not, right after that, Sam Witwer, the voice of Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, actually walks up. And same thing, like, I know him, he knows me, like, hey man, what's up, how you doing? Like, all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, how excited are you for this movie? If anything, like, I'm hoping we get, like, a cool cameo, and then he has this weird look like, yeah, we'll see. And then he walks off, and I'm just like, the heck was that about? So, anyway, those are everybody I met and everything. Oh, sorry about that. And then, another story. So, John Favreau walks up and I have him sign the thing, and I'm like, John, like, like, I love your work. Like, I can't wait for the Mandalorian. This is way before the Mandalorian actually come. It had been announced, but nobody had seen anything. So I'm like, dude, like, I can't wait. Oh, actually, yeah, like John Favreau, and he's actually in the movie as the forearm dude. I forgot his name. He dies like really quickly. But anyway, yeah, I asked him about that. Kathleen Kennedy came up, and I kind of just, didn't really want to talk about Star Wars. I just told her I'm really grateful with her and like her production company and even her husband Frank Marshall did with the indie movies, because if you guys know me, like, aside from Star Wars, I love me some Indiana Jones. Anyway, after that, like a little while, George, the creator, walks through. He just walks through the middle, kind of semi happy to be there. Like, George. If you guys seen George in anything, he's, just in his own little world. Like, all this costs a lot of money. I wonder who paid for it. That sounds like the look he had on his face. Same thing like when I saw him at Disneyland, like, oh, it's so expensive. Anyway, yeah, so they all walk through. Donald walks through. Billy D walks through. Billy D's such a cool dude. Didn't come to our side, but still. He walks through. Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi showed up, like, last minute on the red carpet. Does his, like, model strut and everything, walks up. And he kind of like walks past us. He does, like, my friend Jeremy got like the best picture of him because he's looking straight at him with just like the blue steel face. And I'm just like, dude, signs a couple autographs and then goes straight into the hall. And I'm just like, oh man, that was freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi, bruh. A few other actors and actresses walked through. There's a lot of people there, like, not just Star Wars actors and actresses, just a lot of like Hollywood in general, because it's a Star Wars movie. Like, everybody loves Star Wars. No matter how big you are, like how big of an A-list celebrity or whatever you are, like 9 times out of 10, most of them like really love Star Wars. But anyway, everybody starts to walk into the theater, and you walk through the red carpet underneath the Millennium Falcon, and it is so cool. It wasn't like life size, like literal, like to scale, but it's big enough to where it looks, cool. Walking underneath there, I was a little bummed because I wasn't able to take pictures underneath it or do a lot of stuff because security kept like shooing us, me and my friend Jeremy and a couple other people. So we get to the bag check. I didn't have any bag. I had like a little pouch strapped to my belt because there are no pockets in Star Wars. Like, all the main characters don't have pockets, at least in their pants. I kind of had to have like a little pouch and strap it to my back and my belt. So with my ID, money, and all that, credit card. So had that changed. Same thing with my friend Jeremy. We're in the bag check. And lo and behold, who should be behind us in the bag check and, security getting wanded down? It's freaking John Williams. And I'm just like, I look back and I'm like, dude, this is John Williams. And I'm like, we're both just like, oh man, why you guys gotta like hassle like the great right there? Like, do you know who this guy is? Do you know who this guy is? And you're like patting him down like he's, nobody or whatever. It was just weird. It was really weird. After that, after they finish harassing him, he goes in, we all go into the theater. I believe it was the Kodak Theater. My friend Jeremy sat up in the mezzanine. I'm like down in the middle row, in the middle aisle. There's 2 big aisles, and the front of the screen is where the actors and all celebrities would come from. So they'd walk they walked in front of the screen and then walked them up the aisle where I was, like literally like a foot or two away, up the aisle to their seats. So you see everybody. You see RuPaul randomly, Chris Hardwick, Sofia Vergara and her husband. I forget his name, but yeah, he's another famous dude. This guy. And then George, the creator, walks through and walks up and everything. And like, you know, I'm trying to be respectful and everything because, you know, it's, you don't want to get kicked out. You don't want to be that dude. And then, last but not least, who should walk up into the aisle that where I'm at? Friggin' Donald Glover. And I'm sitting there dressed as Lando. I don't have the cape on and everything, but dressed as Lando. I was so happy that, you know, he was playing Lando. Like, I just stood up from my seat and I stood up and was like, just pointed at him and started clapping and everything. And then he saw me and was like, oh, and was like about to run up and be like, dude. And then literally the movie started. He's like, oh, shit, later. And then he skittered off into the darkness to his seat. And I'm just like, but, you know. This ain't Burger King. We can't always have it our way. So, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, the movie started. Whole movie, amazing. I loved it. Loved it so much. And then the part, spoilers if you guss haven't seen Solo, Star Wars Story, the part where the secret character pops up and it's freaking Darth Maul. I literally had the biggest just like face, like, oh, like, because in my head I thought back to meetings Ray Park and Sam on the red carpet, and that moment when they were acting weird whenever I would say something about them being in the movie or whatever, and they both were in the movie. And the funny thing is, like, so Ray Park was there, and sitting next to him was Ewan McGregor, and Ewan McGregor let out like the biggest scream ever, because obviously, like, you know, that's his boy. Like, they're both Scottish. They both, you know, when episode 1 they had that crazy fight scene, and then you just hear him in the back like, "That's my boy." It's one of like I have to say honestly, it's one of my top favorite Star Wars experiences I've had, like fan experiences. You know, that's like once in a lifetime kind of deal right there. So the movie ends, we all leave, and then very few of us, very few of us were actually invited to the after party. So if you guys don't know, every time they have one of these, there's always a giant after party, huge. And you have to keep in mind, I'm still dressed in Lando. I'm still like literally looking like this dude. I had my hair done. I like my eyebrows and my goatee and everything was like I was that dude. So I'm walking to the party after this movie dressed as Lando, and you see people just like it was funny. And then they had all the costumes on display there, which was so cool. So we can, you know, us customers like go up and like look into detail and be like, okay, I need to change this, and okay, this goes over here. Like, you know, we kind of like all of us, everybody who was building one of those costumes. So it was so cool. I met a lot of people there. Met like a lot of the production team. Ran into like a lot of the guys who did the CGI for the movie. Oh, I ran into Taun We of all people. I forget the actress's name, but she played Taun We. You know, in Attack of the Clones. It's funny, she was sauced up. I remember asking her the same thing, like, when are they gonna put you in the Star Wars movie? And she's like, if you know anybody, tell them to get that in the Star Wars. Also, see, I saw my boy Daniel Logan there. Most of the main actors weren't there. They were in another part. But it was a lot of other people there. Peter Mayhew, may rest in peace, was there. What else were they doing there? They had a thing, a photo booth where you could take pictures. They had a giant Millennium Falcon made out of Solo cups because, you know, Solo cup. You know. Anyway, It was a huge thing. It was like a Lego booth where they were giving away like little like Lego like Millennium Falcons. That's kind of like my only real thing I got from there. After that, left, hung out with Peter and his family, and called it. And yeah, that's that whole part of the story. Now the aftermath of all that was freaking crazy. For the people who went to, for the Legion members who actually went to the, you know, premiere, you got a patch, a really cool patch, and then also, actually a couple patches. You got a, you know, I was there at the premiere patch, and you also got this. Bing! Little Millennium Falcon challenge coin commemorating, you know, the actual event. So you got Solo Star Wars story in the front, and red carpet premiere right there in the back. Never giving this away. This is it almost looks like a guitar pick too. After which was like the icing on the cake with this whole story. I remember a couple days after the movie, after the movie came out or just after the premiere in general, I remember one of my friends was like, "Dude, check out this interview from these guys, blah blah. It's Donald Glover and the girl who played L3. Dude, you gotta watch it. They're talking about you." And I'm like, What are you talking about?" And then they send me the clip, and it's freaking this.
As far as like specific fan encounters or memorable moments interacting with the fans now that they really know that you guys are involved in this. And
there was an L3 cosplay guy on the red carpet, which was cool. He'd come dressed as L3. That was good. I got a good hug off him. Details was very good, actually.
Yeah, the details was good.
Yeah.
It's just always amazing to me how much the fans can quickly put together their own costume. Just even like in the theater when we walked in, there was a Lando, and he just stood up and was like, yeah, but I was like, you're dressed like new Lando, like dressed like, to do that is like, it's a lot of hard work.
It's
like,
a lot of commitment.
Like, a lot of commitments, like, you know, the love for the love is really unparalleled.
Honestly, I didn't believe, you know, that story that my friend was telling me until like, you know, I saw Donald Glover talking about it, and then he do the, and like everybody and their mom was like, "Oh man, he got Dupree-face like on point." But anyway, like I said, I had an amazing time at the premiere. It's you have to be very humbled and everything to be invited to one of these, and I don't take it for granted. You know, I got to give thanks to all the people that helped me get there, like, you know, my friends Griffin and Alex, and then my other friend Jesse Terrazzo even suggested I do it. And I don't build costumes to go do stuff like that. I make costumes for me, just as the fandom, just, you know, I made costumes to go to hospital events, to do that. That's first and foremost. Other stuff like this is kind of like a nice added like benefit, a nice added thank you for doing what you do. And Lucasfilm recognizes a lot of the stuff we do, and you know, they're very generous. They're very generous people, and you know, I just got to thank them. At the end of the day, I just got to thank them, especially fan relations. Thank you, fan relations. You guys, yes. Anyway, it's a long-winded story. Anyway, guys, that's been my Star Wars story about how I went to the Solo Star Wars story premiere and everything with the costume. Anyway, I'll have a lot more stories. I kind of alluded to earlier in the video that I'll eventually make videos for, but all in due time. All in due time. Anyway, guys, if you like this long-winded story, please hit that like button. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you could be so kind as to hit that bell to get notifications for all my latest videos, that'd be great. And until next time, guys, everything you heard about me is true.